Good evening, good evening, good evening. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me online? Hopefully everybody can hear me. Let's see, I got 701. All right, Sabrina Little, thanks for checking in. Good evening, Sabrina. Niz, good evening. Ursula, good evening. Cutie China, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. All right, today, uh, of course, we're going to have a discussion tonight. Samoa 898, good evening. Of course, we're going to have a discussion tonight. Free to call in, but I want to try something out. So to get the kinks out. So tonight is the first night that this show will be offering people to call in or to come in on camera. So what does that mean? When I need a guinea pig. I need somebody to help me test the system out to make sure it's working right. And if it's not working right, please bear with me. So, who wants to be the guinea pig? If you look in the chat is, oh Lord, I gotta put it back in the chat. All right, give me a second. Gotta put it back in the chat. All right, there we go. Does everybody see that link? Let's see what we got. 11 and the 12 in the building. Thank you. Taj the Great One, thank you so much for tuning in. S'mores, 898. All right, so again, of course, we're going to have a discussion, uh, but I would really like to test out this app I'm using, what's called Ecamm, Ecamm, Ecamm Live. And so I posted the link, and if someone would be gracious enough to help me test it out, I would really appreciate it. All right, so the link is in the chat. And I just have to figure out. All right, maybe somebody may come in later. Okay. So we got 11 in the building. I need somebody, anybody, hit the link, and I just want to see how it's going to work out. It's a tough audience tonight. Tough audience. Come on, people. You're the ones gave me this idea. Y'all gave me the idea. Then we don't want to. We don't want to give it a shot. All right, Cutie China said I would click, but I'm in my bonnet now. LOL. All right, Ned says I would, but I look a hot mess. Somebody said greeting. Is this the call in link? What's the topic? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm going to get into the topic, but I really want to try this this cam out, this eCam thing out yet. The link is in the chat. If anybody wants to, somebody said, give it some time. More people may come in soon. That's a good idea. All right. So I got 7:06. Good evening, Amy Sue. Thank you for tuning in. I have 7:06 my time, Central Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Elderly Advice 100. So many other things that you could be doing tonight, but yet you took time out to take time out of your busy schedule to tune in to tonight's YouTube live, and for that I say thank you. For that I say thank you. For that I say thank you. Thank you for the subscriptions increasing. Thank you for the great comments. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the emails with the show topics. And just thank you for, once again, your loyal support. I really appreciate it because, again, there's just so many other things that you could be doing. And as I always say, it lets me know that some of the things that I'm doing and saying is resonating with some people. So I appreciate that. So call-in line is open, 225-397-6922. That line, you can basically call in and ask any question that you would like to ask. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the vetting process and the importance of that. It just seems like it seems like I just never have enough time to go over that. My initial my plans in the beginning were I was going to break down pretty much everything that I had written in my book as far as the vetting process, but you would be surprised how many emails and comments and topics that I've been getting as far as different things that certain people are going through in their lives, and they ask me to speak on those things, and sometimes I get off track. But tonight, I'm going to do my best to stay on track. Again, you can call in 225-397 and talk about anything that you like to talk about. But we're going to be talking about, in particular, vetting. Last week we talked about marriage. You know, so many men going around who are married, parading like they're single. So, and I still want to test out the eCam live. So if anybody is would like to call in with and be on camera, you would be doing me a great favor because I was trying to work out the kinks with this. This would be the first time for that. Shout out to Janae for giving me the idea. I think it was Janae and Lady Red, but I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Janae, and I want to say thank you for that. All right, so DeAndre Sanders says, "What's the topic?" The topic tonight is going to be vetting men. Uh, I think you all have pretty much heard my process, my thought process on vetting men. But tonight, I'm going to try and go much more deeper as far as you have different stages. You know, in my estimation, as a lady, you should have a stage one and probably a stage two, probably a stage three, probably a stage four. I mean, it's totally up to you, but I'm going to try my best in tonight's um, YouTube to get into as many as possible. Now, real quickly, Monday and Thursday, Monday of next week and Thursday of next week, this time next week, I will not be doing YouTube lives. I will be I have some important business to take care of. So Monday, the Monday coming up, that would be Labor Day Monday. You probably was going to be busy with your family anyway. So Labor Day, I will not be on, and then a week from today, I will not be doing the YouTube live as well. So I'll be back the following Monday, whatever day that will be. So again, Monday, which is this coming Monday, which is Labor Day. Oh Lord, not Labor Day. I'm sorry, Memorial Day. So this Monday, which would be Memorial Day, I will not be on, and then the week from today, the Thursday. So all of next week, I will not be doing YouTube lives because I have a lot of some business I need to take care of. Shout out to Niz for giving me the Instagram link. That video, as I said, should be posted tonight, tomorrow at the latest. Thank you, Ms. Sanders. She said Memorial Day, which is correct. So, all right. So let's talk about vetting. First of all, let's talk about what vetting is, in my estimation. So, you may have a totally different definition of vetting than I may. So, my definition of vetting is a system that is in place that allows a person to be able to detect the type. Allow a person to detect bad men from good men. When I talk about the vetting process for women, again, that's just my general definition. A system or some type of practical things. Oh, hold on, we got a phone call off the bat. Hold on. My goodness. Good evening, Carla. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Lola, and I'm calling from Maryland.
Maryland. Did you say Lauren?
Lola,
Laura. Okay. Thank you so much. How you doing tonight, Laura?
I'm doing okay. I'm good. I caught your last, I'm really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What's your comment, or do you have a question?
Well, I do have a question, and um, I'll try to be brief because I know how women can be. But my question is, when you're dating, or at least trying to date, and you find yourself in my position specifically, being attracted to men that are marriage minded, or at least they want to get married. However, when engaged inside of interactions in terms of dating, they're not quite ready for marriage, at least emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe financially they are. Um, in my position, am I? Is it that I'm attracted still to the wrong kind of men, or is it just a matter of nature that uh, men sometimes? I have heard recently that men don't marry the woman they're supposed to marry that they're attracted to. They simply just marry whoever is around when they feel it necessary to get married, which I don't understand that math. But Is it me, or is it still me, or is it something else?
Yeah, let me just ask you a few questions, if you don't mind, to
Hmm.
make sure I understand your question with 100% certainty. So you're saying that the men that you are attracted to, you're saying that a lot of them want marriage, or they say they want marriage, but then when the rubber hits the road, when things kind of get deep or serious, they kind of pull back because they have a fear of marriage. Or
Yes, exactly.
okay, and so your question is, do you think it's you, or do you think it's? I'm trying to make sure I understand the question.
Yes. Is it that I'm still, in a sense, attracted to the wrong kind of men, or is it something else going on, maybe biological, that I'm just not understanding?
Hmm. Okay, last question, if you don't mind. What type of men are you attracted to?
Um. Well, I'm attracted to guys that are very stable in their career.
Hmm.
I don't want to say they're stable in terms of finances, but usually the men that I come across, they have a passion that they're working in,
Yeah.
and they're very rooted in that passion, whatever that is. Some of them, make a lot of money. Some of them didn't make a lot of money, but they're all usually inside of their passion. It's not simply a job that they have,
Hmm.
and they're usually short on time because they either work for themselves or they're into a really passionate job. Um, so they're stable in that sense, um, and much sort of like my dad in that they're kind of laid back.
Hmm.
But honestly, my father is like the only guy I know like him, so I can't even compare it. But yeah, it's somewhat like my dad in terms of attitude, like kind of laid back, but very much in their passion in terms of what they want to do with their life, or
Hmm.
their
Hmm.
talent.
Okay, all right. So I think I almost got you. So as far as dating, you don't have any problem meeting men. You don't have any problem dating. You don't have any problem, getting a man to be monogamous in a committed relationship with you. The problem seems to be when it gets time where you think maybe an engagement or maybe marriage should be approaching that time. They get cold feet and they don't bring it up.
Well, yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no is because I've been at the very beginning stages
Hmm.
and realized the same thing. And I've been years deep into it, and literally almost to the T word,
Hmm.
the same things are being said. So it's like, it doesn't matter if we've been dating for a month to 6 months to 6 years to, it's, it's in the end, even though they said they wanted marriage, in the end, they're saying, I'm not ready for marriage. This is too much. I need more time. Or this right now isn't this time. Or it's just always something after the
Yeah.
fact of, you know.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Okay. Okay. Let me just give you my true and honest opinion on that, as far as just being a man and a male with 54 years of experience. I would say that you've been running across a lot of professional game players. That's just me, and I'm going to
Mm-mm.
explain why I say that. See, the reason why I say that is because men, we have a variety of ways of masquerading our true intentions, a variety of ways. And one of the ways in which we masquerade our true intentions is we answer questions with lies based upon how you frame it. So in other
Mm.
words, if I met you and we're having a conversation and you ask me, how do I feel about marriage? Now,
Mm.
see, if I'm the type of person that marriage is nowhere, is nowhere in my mind, is nowhere in my near future. I'm not even thinking about marriage. But see, if I just met you and I find you physically attractive, I find that you are sexy, I find that you got all of, the physical things that push my buttons, I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to lie to you straight to your face and say, yes, I am. I am the type of man who wants to get married. I want to have a family one day. I want to settle down, and I want to get you. I want to get to know you better, and hopefully, you and I can build upon that and move forward and possibly have a marriage together. See, men will tell you that because one of the things I always tell ladies is, from a man's standpoint, I want you to always think about the front end and the back end. See, we'll tell you things on the front end to try and receive a desired result on the back end. So I honestly, this is just me. I can't prove it. I just believe that you've been running across a lot of game players who just told you what they think you wanted to hear. And so, men, we are the masters of lying to questions based upon how you framed it. For example, let's say you and I were, just getting to know each other, and you say, I ask you, what are some of the things that you like to do? And maybe one of the first things popped into your mind, or you told me, was you like to go to church. Now, as a man, I may not have been to church in the last 8 years, may not have picked up a Bible in the past 15 years, and church is the last thing on my mind. But since you phrased that question, and now my senses are going off that you're a Christian and you like to go to church, and that's important to you, I'll lie to you and say, yeah, I go to church, and I'll even go to your church. So all I'm trying to get you to understand is, men will tell you anything that we think you want to hear, as long as we think that we're moving up in that hierarchy that you have in place with your standards. So that's what it sounds like to me. A bunch of guys, some guys that you've met, they just told you what they think you wanted to hear. Does that make sense, or does that resonate with you, or what?
Yeah, yes, and honestly, I can think of two examples that actually the wording or the line of questioning came out exactly like that. However, I don't say however to negate it, but however, inside of my vetting process, part of the questioning is to figure out if me and this person are on the same plane, if you know what I mean. Like, are we going in the same direction? So if I'm just looking for friends with benefits, or just dating, or something more than that, there's a plethora of things I could be looking for. I'm trying to figure out, is this person and me on the same, wavelength? However, I haven't always asked the blunt question of, are you looking to get married? Is that something you want to do? Sometimes it's just around in conversations, or just however I find out. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this person wants to get married. However, no matter how I find out, at some point it almost comes out to a literal blurting that I'm not ready for this level of commitment, or I'm not ready to get married, or right now isn't a good time. Or it's always something like that. Yeah. And that's why I asked you the question, am I still have I leveled up or leveled down, and I'm still attracted to the wrong kinds of men? Or is it that this is just something natural in men, and I have to kind of combat it someplace? Because honestly, I'm a woman, so I don't have infinite time, and right now I'm kind of frustrated with meeting what I think are better quality guys than what most women are complaining about. Yet I'm still running into the same problem as these women that are complaining. Yet I'm not meeting the same types of men they are. Yet I'm having the same problem.
Yeah. Let me just say this. You talked about your vetting process, but to me, see what I've picked up on your vetting process is basically chalked up to words. You ask a man a question and he answers. You ask him a question, so you have conversation. See, there are men out there, like I said, that no matter what their end result is, they will lie lie and lie again as long as they feel that that lie is getting them toward that total goal. See, when a man wants marriage, I promise, you'll be the first one to know, not at their proposal, but you'll know by our actions. And if your vetting process is set up for questions only, okay, if I go to a bank and I need a loan for, let's say I need a loan for $100,000. Okay, so if the bank is asking me these questions, what type of, do you have a $500,000 worth of collateral? If I don't, guess what I'm gonna say? What do you think if I don't have a $500,000 of collateral? What do you think I'm gonna say?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
You get to say
so I'm going to say yes. Now it's up to that bank to do the background check and find out, okay, this guy does not have a $500,000 of collateral, that's strike one or whatnot. But all I'm trying to get you to see is if your vetting system is based upon questions only, conversations, men, we specialize in that. Because again, we're going to analyze the way you frame the question. Do you want children? We may not want children, but the way you framed it, it seems like you're interested in children. We're going to say, yep, we want children. Why? Because we feel that's the answer you wanted to hear. So that's why I think what you've been running across is those type of men who are so smooth, because they got some smooth men out there, and they will basically just lie to your face, tell you what they think they want to hear. And then when the rubber hits the road, they're like, no. The kitchen is getting too hot. What I told you about marriage, I'm not, I found out I'm not really ready for it. Well, that was his true colors in the beginning. If a man tells you in the beginning, he's at a point in his life where he's ready for marriage, and then when he gets down the line, rubber hits the road, now he wants to back out of it. See, when he backs out, that was his true colors. He didn't want to get married in the first place. So I would advise you to implement more strategies in your vetting process that requires actions. Because if everything is based upon conversation, now conversation is important, communication, but once again, we will just analyze the question depending upon how you framed it or how you asked it, and lie will just come out, and the lie will come out so clean and so smooth. I mean, you won't be able to detect it until further down. And then you'll look at yourself and you'll say, well, wait a minute. He told me this. But if you think about it, it's based upon everything that he told you. He told me this. He told me this. He told me this. But he just told you a bunch of lies.
Okay. Well, would you say in let's say the first 60 days of dating, would you say even talking about marriage should be prohibited, and maybe just skipping that and watching if he does things that are more in line with, moving towards that, and not necessarily overtly talking about marriage?
Yeah. See. What I would advise you to do is, in the initial stages, if you meet a guy and you're attracted to him, and you say, okay, I'm going to give this guy an opportunity. See, what I would advise you to do is be the best version of yourself. Do not bring marriage up, because see, once you show a man your qualities, you're virtuous, you're loving, you're kind, you're generous. Once you show us your characteristics, and you still got your vetting process in place, but once we start seeing those things, then that's when we started to make a move. That's when we started to analyze you, and you say, you know what? She would be a good mother for my children. She would make me a good wife. But we're basing those things upon how you move, how you interact, the choices that you make. When we look at your social media accounts, when we look at how you dress, when we look at how you conduct yourself, when we look at the friends that you hang out with, when we analyze your mother, your parents, and things of that nature, when we analyze your background. So, see, if you practice, if you work on being the best version of you, the talk the talk is good, but we're looking at you. We're looking at you. Is this a woman that I can take home to my parents and say, mother, father, this is the one? Is this a woman who I can say, well, I want to be the first teacher of my kids? Is this a woman that I want to give my last name to? So if you focus on, I firmly believe, if you focus on being the best version of you, everything else is going to fall in place. Now, you still got to have your vetting process in place, but combined with that, see, the talk, that's good, but it's only talk. And men will be, okay, men, we will be glad to talk to you. That's why we don't mind staying on the phone with you till 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. We don't mind that because it's only talk. We have no equity. We have no sweat in the game, in the relationship. It's only talk. So we'll talk to you 2-3 hours a day. We'll talk to you until 2 in the morning, however long it takes. So that's nothing. But again, I just don't want you to put all your eggs in a basket, with your vetting process, just giving men questions. But it has to be some actions, and you have to be able to put your best foot forward to show that, first of all, you are the lady that he should decide to be his wife. Because again, when our mind is stuck on marriage, when our mind is stuck on you, as far as you being the woman that we have chosen, listen, nothing can stop that. Dirt can't bury it. The fire can't put it out. Water can't drown it. That's impossible. We're going to do it. We're not going to have cold feet. No, we're not going to pull out. Yeah.
So, okay, I see what you're saying. So if there is a hesitation, then the truth is they just don't feel, they just don't feel that way. It's nothing personal, I guess. It's just they just don't feel that way.
Yeah. See, usually hesitation is a sign that the true colors are coming out. And the true colors, in my estimation, was he never was serious to begin with. To me, it was all a facade. It was all a mirage. It was all a game. But some men are just so smooth at doing it. That's just the way I see it, based upon what you've laid out. Because, like I said,
I have had other smaller situations that I found a little bizarre in terms of the it wasn't conversation of marriage. It was more of a afterthought. After we had broken up, this one guy he made a statement, and it really perplexed me about marriage, because when we were dating, things seemed to be going fine for like several months, no problems, real smooth, and then suddenly I get a phone call for some random, but it wasn't a random female, it was a female that he worked with, and she was asking questions about my attire that I was wearing around him, and if I was around him like off time or something. And other people got the same phone call about me from her.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how she got my number. So I asked him, I said, hey, so-and-so, called, and other people said that they called them asking the question, what's going on? And he got extremely defensive and tried to tell me something about he paid for some expensive item for her or something. And I said, well, were you guys in a relationship? And then he got more defensive, and I'm like, listen, I'm a big girl. If you were, it's okay. But I didn't give no one my phone number, so I'm just asking. And then he essentially told me, if I'm going to feel this way, then we don't need to date anymore. And I didn't understand, what do you mean, if I'm going to feel this way? So we broke up because I didn't know what else to do. I was just asking a question. Mm-hmm. And then about 8 months later, he called, wished me happy Mother's Day, and he said, we could have been married, but you just wouldn't let it go. And I was like, we could have been married? Like, What do you mean we could have been married? Like, like that really perplexed me. I'm like, the whole reason I was there was because of that, and I knew he had been married before, and he wanted to get married again. I knew that from, like you said, conversations on dates. But then when that happened, I'm like, okay, he doesn't want to marry me, obviously. But then when he made that comment several months later, I'm like, well, if you felt that way, why did you end the relationship simply because I asked about someone who called my phone that you knew? Like I didn't understand that. So that's the other stuff that I mean. Like, yes,
Yeah,
it was conversation,
yeah.
but it was
You,
something else.
okay, your name is Laura, correct?
Lola, Lola.
Okay, Lola. All right, Lola. I absolutely know nothing about you. First time talking with you, but I'm just going to make an example real quick.
Mm-hmm.
See, men, we can pick up on vibes. I've been talking to you, what, 5 minutes, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what I picked up about you already within 5 minutes? You know what I picked up about you?
What was that?
You are very you are a very trusting person. I sense it. Am I right or
Well,
wrong?
yeah, I tend to, yeah, I tend to not want to come into something not trusting because it
Yeah.
makes me feel negative, and I tend to like to be happy. So,
Okay. All right. Let me just help you out, Lola. And I promise you, I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I'm just trying to give you
no, it's fine.
some advice. Okay. See, the dating scene. I'm just being honest with you. It's all rules, all bets are off the table because right now it's war. It's war. You cannot trust no man, especially what he does with his mouth, what comes out of this mouth. See, I would advise you to hear what men say and then watch their actions because that's this. It's only me. I've picked up that you are a very trusting person, and you. It seems like you'll look at someone and say, "Well, why does he have a reason to lie?" It seems
Right,
like you
yeah,
give
I
people
am.
the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt off the bat. And in this dating world, if we were living in a perfect world, there would be absolutely nothing wrong with that. But since we don't live in a perfect world, you can that mentality you got to change that because men, I promise you, we can pick up on it. And the first thing that pops into our mind is bingo, I got one. I got a person who will believe exactly what I tell her. And I don't want to see you go down that path because, again, men can pick up on it. So let me ask you a question. Am I wrong
Mhm.
about the assertion that I just said about you?
No, you're not. I've actually had to say that. Well, I've said that to other people, like friends and family, when they said, well, do you believe this person? And I would have to say, well, I don't have a reason to distrust them.
Okay.
They've never lied before. And I mean, I don't just, like I told you, I don't come in distrusting for some reason that I don't have. So, yeah, I kind of been left at that point. Like, well, if they said this and they haven't done anything contrary to that, at least yet, I don't, but maybe I'm not paying attention enough. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had my mic turned off. But in today's world, you have so many people playing games, and when men run across a lady who seems as if you're a very trustful person, like I said, we can pick up on it, and a lot of guys who have bad intentions, they'll use that to their advantage. It's just like the guy you just explained. You said when the other lady called and you and him had the discussion, basically he got mad because he was busted. So he tried to use that excuse for him being busted. He tried to use that as an excuse by saying that, well, you and I, we could have been married. In other words, if you just would have accepted the fact, you know, that I got a side woman, or at the time I was dating you and that lady at the same time, you just would have accepted the fact, maybe things would have been better. But
Yeah, I got
men,
that. Yeah, I
men,
got that notion. Yeah.
trust me, men we do not make those type of statements unless we feel that it would be effective. See, when we're caught red-handed, like he was, what
Hmm.
we're trying to do is we're trying to get your mind off of that. But see, when a man brings that up and say, well, you blew it, that lets me know that that man was looking at you like, you know what? Even though you caught me with her, you messed the thing up. And so men will try that on certain type of women who they feel it could be effective and actually reverse it psychologically and say, you know what? I'm sorry I did do that. I'm sorry about it. Let's get back together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you, yeah, I follow you. I follow you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In other words, you got to get tougher. You have to get tougher in this dating world. And what I mean by tougher is your system of vetting. It has to have some teeth. Because right now, a man, you know, if you're just basing everything on questions and answers, you know, we'll talk to you until 3 o'clock in the morning. No big deal. No
Hmm.
big deal at all. And so you may feel that you're bonding and getting closer, but what the guy is thinking is, well, I'm just getting closer to what I want, whether that be money, whether that be sex, whatever it could be. And then
Oh, wow.
when the fire gets turned up, and then, you know, we look back and say, oh, Lord, we've been with her 6 months and all this. And you know, she's expecting some type of commitment. Then we pump the brakes. Then our true colors come out and we try and lie and weasel our way out of it.
I see what you're saying. So I need to get a little tougher. Well, yeah, I need to get a little tougher in how I approach things, um, both on dates and just in general. But honestly, I I see so much going on now in terms of how to date, and honestly, it makes me feel like I'm not being myself sometimes.
Yeah.
If I have to act very shrewd, because I'm not a shrewd person, I'm very much aware of feelings and stuff like that, and I feel uncomfortable being shrewd a lot of times, maybe even when I need to be, um, because I grew up a certain way. But
Yeah.
I I just like
Look.
right now to be on a date
Yeah.
and just ask like obnoxious questions like what's your credit score.
Yeah.
I would be mortified if someone asked me my credit score. But like but people are
Yeah.
saying they do this because they want to have, I guess as you were saying, teeth and knowing what they want up front and not waste time. However, I don't see it as wasting time.
Yeah.
I do see it as just conversation, but I see what you're saying. Like I
Yeah.
do need
Yeah.
to let
Okay.
go.
Let,
Yeah.
let me help you out real quickly. See, I don't mean it by you got to be a shrewd person. You don't have to be a type of person that has a bad attitude. No, no, no. You can still be
Hmm.
yourself. You can still be feminine. You just
Hmm.
can't take what a man says at face value. That's all I'm trying to get you to see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So you don't have to be shrewd. You don't have to be condescending. You don't have to have an attitude. Still be feminine. Still be soft. Still be Lola. But don't take what we say at face value. That's all I'm trying to get you to see.
Okay. Just
Mm-mm.
kind of put a pin in it.
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. See.
Okay.
This is why I encourage women to have a vetting process that forces a man to go into compete mode, because compete mode forces him to bring forth actions. Now, instead of lying and reacting, he's got to put in some work. He's got to put in actions. He's got to let me know that he's interested in me rather than telling me that he's interested in me. And that's why I talk about what was my see you got to learn how to put men on ice. See, you got to learn the art of having a man think about you. You got to learn the art of occupying space in a man's mind. Because right now it seems like the script has been reversed and men are occupying space in your mind. You got to flip that. See,
Yeah.
you got to keep us off balance. You got to put us on roller skates. Keep us off balance. Keep us wondering about your whereabouts. Keep us in compete mode. And so that's where I feel, your vetting process is lacking, because I don't see anything that you have in place. For example, if a man walks up to you, let's say you find the man attractive, and he asks for your phone number. Okay, if you give the man the phone number, all right, if you give him his phone number, do you know you just gave him exactly what he wanted? Where was the work? See,
Right.
he didn't even have to work for your phone number, because first of all, there's nothing wrong with finding a man attractive. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. We're all human. But he did not have to work. Not one bit. He walked up to you. He talked to you. The conversation was good. And he could be Mr. Right, no doubt about it. Yes, he could be Mr. Right. But there was absolutely no work that was involved. See, once you put us to work, oh my goodness, once you put us in compete mode, man, we're off to the races. Now we're thinking about you. Now we're wondering, what can we do to better up the last thing we did for you? If we sent you flowers, you appreciate the flowers. What can we do on the next occasion to make it more better? See. Once you put us in compete mode, we're always trying to come up with ways to let you know that I am the man for you. I am the man that's perfectly suited for you. Because we're in compete mode. But if we're not in compete mode, we're just going to be like, ooh, wait a minute.
Right.
Boy, this thing is going smooth. Why? Because it's going easy. Men love easy. Two things men love. We love when it's easy, and we love when things go fast. So if things are easy, things are going fast, men, we're just going to shut our mouth and go along with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So it's with the telephone number thing. As a woman, I do feel nowadays it's a little dangerous to do that. So my thing is, I never give anyone my phone number or contact if I don't have some form of rapport with them. It doesn't matter under no circumstances. If I know you, like if I know you personally in some way, maybe I would give you my social media handle or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't. The whole cold calling, something like that. I would never do that just for my own safety. But to be honest with you, I think I'm very much at the point where you said that I need to kind of tighten up, because even though I have rapport, I still have this issue with asking someone questions and then thinking we can continue on because you said that this was what you wanted and I want this, and we agreed that so now we can move to the next step. Like, it's not that cut and dry. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And again, I hope I didn't come across as being a hard ass or anything like that. But
no.
But
no, it was enjoyable. So.
Yeah. See, I can tell you have a good heart. I can tell you have good intentions. I could tell you're the type of woman. You seem like a giver, the type of woman who gives a lot, puts her all into a relationship. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting from you. Now, if I'm getting those vibes from you, don't you think other men can pick those up as well?
Yeah.
It seems like you're the type of lady. I've only been talking to you a few minutes. Who will once you're in a relationship, you give your all. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, a bit much. Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
You're right. Yeah.
See, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but that has to come way down the line. Way down the line. That can't come first. Because men will take the wrong type of men, the lions with sheep clothing on. And that's what it sounds like you've been running across. Seems like you've been running across a lot of lions that were masqueraded in sheep's clothing. And they put the sheep clothing to blend in with the other sheep. And so it seems like that's what you've been running across. But after tonight, hopefully, like I said, You
Right.
know, your vetting process has more teeth in it. It's got to have some more. It's got to have some more bite to it. Because men, we can pick up on your personality so quick, real quick. And once we pick up on certain things, if it's the see the good men want a woman like you. Let me just make this clear. See, men who are looking for, their fiance, their wife, the mother of their kids, things of that nature, we are looking for your types. But also, you got so many game players, the F-boys and the A-holes, they'll take ladies like you with good hearts and good intentions, with good morals and good character, and they'll just try and use you up and play that role. So I want you to be careful of those types, because those types, those are the ones, once again, they're going to present themselves just like an angel from heaven. Oh, my goodness. They are going to present themselves throw education out the window, because a lot of them are going to be highly educated. A lot of them are going to have well-paying jobs. A lot of them are going to come from good families. A lot of them are going to come from excellent backgrounds, great pedigrees. But the inside is all about them. Selfish to the core. It's all about pleasing them. So that's what I want you to be aware of. So it's, oh my goodness.
No, I've learned a lot, just from that little bit of information, and I think I can at least start from a better place next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will thank you for your time and just explaining things to me in that depth. I do appreciate it. And I'll continue listening. I know probably someone else probably has another question, so I don't want to hog your time up. But thank you. I really appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you so much. And keep us posted.
I will.
All right. Take care. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right. That was a good call from Lola coming out of, I want to say she said she was from Maryland. Yeah. So again, ladies, men, we can pick up on certain things real quick. Let me get this other phone call real quick. Hold on 1 second, caller. Can you hear me, caller?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Linda, and I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
What, you calling from Texas?
Yes,
What part of Texas?
Houston.
H-Town.
Oh,
My neighbor to the west.
oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. What can I help you with?
Okay, so I just have a question because I watched your show on YouTube, and it's very informative. And I remember watching one of your videos where you talk about a woman should give email instead of phone number, which I totally agree with. I was okay. I'm definitely gonna take that advice. And, I've been seeing a lot of TikToks as well that's just warning women about men games and stuff like that. And I had a few share of men doing me dirty, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, would I ever find a man that just wants to take me serious, want to put in the effort without just having to put a facade, play games with him, play hard to get? Like, is that possible in Houston?
Okay, so let me make sure I got you. You're saying you're in Houston and you're running across a lot of men who play games?
Yes.
Okay.
Too much games. All of them either have like a girlfriend or everyone is talking to somebody. And I just want a genuine connection where I don't have to keep playing games, mind flips, I just want a genuine connection where I can get married, have children, but I don't know how to, or should I just be a nun? That's how it looks.
Yeah. You see, okay, so you're in H Town. So basically, you're saying you see a lot of men that are playing games out there. You don't want to play the games. You're wondering what can you do to find a good man and weed through all the foolishness and the game players that's out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what type of places are you? What type of places are you putting yourself in as far as places that you like to go? I think that would be a tremendous help. I think if now you don't have to discuss this, but I think if you don't mind discussing, once again, you don't have to. If you want to talk about the type of attire that you like to wear, I'm a huge believer on a woman who's trying to attract a certain type of man. I'm a firm believer in the more feminine you are, the more masculine we're going to be, and those type of men will run to you, like a bee flocking to honey.
Mm.
Now, like I said, we don't have to talk about that, but my answer is to your question in general.
Yes.
It's hold on one second. Are we talking about meeting men in the street? We're talking about online dating, or we're talking about a combination of all things? Let's say you go to your friend's wedding, you meet losers. Let's say you go to the grocery store, you meet losers. Let's say you go to, a restaurant and you meet losers. We talking about that just in general?
Yeah, I'm talking in general. And how do you feel about online dating? Because in Houston, online dating look like a booty call. So I kind of don't know how I feel about online dating.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna take the online dating last. Okay. Sometimes I'm just being honest with you. Sometimes you just got to go through the mud to get to the prize. Or sometimes you just got to go through the rainy days to get to the sunny days. The game players, the game players, the F boys, the A holes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. See, the game players, the F boys, the A holes, they are always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing you can do about that. They're always going to be there. What to me, what needs to happen is, do you have a system or some type of vetting process in place to hurry up and get them out the way, or to hurry up and get them, off of your trail? Because if you don't, what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and hang around because they really believe that they have a legitimate shot of actually talking to you or getting next to you. But there's no way that we can go through life, or you can go through life thinking that those type of men are not going to approach you. You could be pumping gas, minding your own business. They'll just walk up to you, start a conversation. Hopefully, you'll fall for what they're saying. You could be shopping, grocery shopping. You could be, just walking downtown, or you could be, you could be whatever. You could be at a stoplight. You could be at a daiquiri shop. So men are always going to approach you. It's just, is that right man going to approach you? And that's why I feel that maybe some of the places that you've been going to, maybe you need to change those places up. I always tell women, I encourage women to think about not looking, because I'm a firm believer in, what the Bible says, when a man finds a wife, but putting yourself in places where you can meet, decent men. Number one, I would say a men's clothing store. Number two, I would say the golf course. Number three, I would say if you can handle the smoke, a cigar bar or a sports bar. Number four, I would say church. Now, again, I know we got some players in church. I know we got some predators, but you still do have some actual good, decent, wholesome men who attend church. You really do. And in that one location, see, you're in Houston. See, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me just say this. If I were in Houston right now, if I lived in Houston, if I was looking for a good church going, if I was looking for a woman who I feel, her qualities match up with me, I'm going to Ivy Hillier's church. That's just me. I'm not saying she's going to be there, but I feel that the church would have more of a quality of selection than going to, the shopping center or the grocery store or whatever. So that's why I tell people don't rule out church. So Ivy Hilliard, man, I'll be up there in Greens Point so quick. That's just me. Not saying I'm going to run into her, but I feel that I would have more of a selection to choose from. So does any of those things pique your interest? What places have you been frequenting to meet a man?
I typically met them at school.
Mm-hmm.
I met them at church. I also met them in a bar before, but I never took that one serious because it was red flag. But for the most part, the dudes I took serious was at school, and at work or at church. Okay. And the one at church did me the most dirty is.
Yeah. So, and so you met a lot of game players in church?
But I met, some of them play games.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? If you don't want to answer, I completely understand.
I'm 24.
You said?
24. 24
in Houston, Texas. Yeah. As my grandmother would say, you got a tough road to hoe. But see, all is not doom and gloom. And see, let me tell you why I said that. See, at 24, the guys in your age category, they're in their sexual peak. And I think that's very important for a woman to understand men that are in their sexual peak. I mean, we all have access to a biology book. You pick up a biology book, it talks about, women in their sexual peak. It talks about men in their sexual peak. Men in their sexual peak, you're talking about the age from like 16 to like 25, 26. So it's I'm not saying it's impossible, but it takes a strong-minded man that's in his early 20s to be able to tell his mind that my flesh, I'm going to get you under control. I'm going to commit to one woman, because so many men at that age is just having sex because they're in their sexual peak. And it's nothing for them to have, sex, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times in a day. That's nothing. For a man in his sexual peak. So a lot of them just don't have the mental strength to tell their flesh, no. So again, it's possible, but your vetting process really has to be in place, because you're at the age that you are, so many men that are just out there because, they just got this strong urge to release. What are they trying to release? Sperm. They're trying, you know what I'm saying? They want sex. And if a young man can't bring that under control, he's just gonna, he'll basically almost be like another person.
But I typically date, what's the word? Older.
Okay.
From like 5 years and up, so around 29 and up. They
hot as a firecracker too.
Yeah.
But I wish I had a solution to help you out. But the F boys and the A-holes and the pickup artists and the dogs and the players, they're gonna be in your face until you die, and that's just the way it is. If you move from Houston and you go to Dallas, same thing's gonna happen in Dallas. If you move from Houston and move over here where I'm at, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, same thing. So it's everywhere. So you can't run away from it, but you just got to have a system in place to get them out of your life as quickly as possible. Now, do you want to talk about the way you dress? We don't have to discuss it, but I strongly feel that could change it around real quickly.
Oh yeah, we can discuss that. I have different fashion sense. Typically, if it's sexy, it's not over the top sexy. Like, let's say it's a off the shoulder, but it's like a long, tight dress. If I wear regular clothes, it's usually a jeans, a nice top with some heels.
Yeah.
But I typically, when I go places, I wear dresses.
Yeah.
I try to keep my hair, my nails, and my face at a moderate but nice makeup and nice hairdos. So yeah, that's how I typically dress.
Okay. Let me just throw out a quick suggestion, and I'm not saying that this is not what you're doing. If you are doing it, I would encourage you that you do it more. Add in your dresses when you walk out that house. Add in wearing more dresses and heels. And watch the attention from the type of men that you're looking for. Nothing wrong with jeans. Absolutely nothing wrong with jeans. But your true femininity, and this is just my estimation, nothing exudes a woman's true femininity, in my estimation, more than when we see you in heels and a dress or a skirt. Doesn't have to be short. Doesn't have to be, you know what I'm saying? It could be it could be conservative. It could be at the knee, below the knee, slightly above the knee. But it's something about that dress and heels. It just makes men. It just puts us in a trance where our eyes are just locked in on you. And just watch the attention that you get. Now, you could be getting the attention from men, but if you do it more, the more you do it, the more attention you're going to get. Yeah.
How do I say it? Yeah, I don't have a issue with getting their attention. It's more of them. A lot. There's, like how you said, there's a lot of crazy ones.
Yeah.
How do I vet out a good one? Because the way it's looking, it looks like I might as well be a nun in Houston because these guys are wow, And so I'm basically asking, how do I vet a good one? Because a lot of them facade to be a good one. They can even wait years.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you just find out it was just just trying to get an ego stroke.
Yeah. See. You got to You got to vet the good ones by making every man that approaches you. Your mentality is, if you want me, you got to work. If you want me, you got to put in some actions. If you want me, you got to compete for me. And so, if your vetting process have to have those things in play. For example, I always talk about, being one step ahead of the man. If a man approaches you, you know why he's approaching you. He's sexually attracted to you. He could be the man of your dreams, or he could be an F-boy. How do you know? You don't know. So now you got to put him to work. If this is somebody that you're attracted to, and you may want to give him an opportunity. He can't see. Your mentality has to be, you cannot get an opportunity without proving yourself first. See, so that's why I tell women, once again, don't give a man your phone number. If he asks for your phone number, tell him perhaps, tell him maybe. Why? Now you got it in compete mode. Now you got him working. Now he knows he has to do something just by you telling him maybe. I might. That means I might or I might not. He doesn't want to lose out on you, so he's going to do what he has to do to get the phone number. Let him talk till he's blue in the face. That puts him in compete mode more. And then once you finally see how persistent he is, compliment on his persistence and say, hey, I admire your persistence. You know, you seem to be a nice guy. I'm not going to give you my number. I'll give you my email address. That's compete mode. Action. He emails you. Guess what? You put him on ice. That's going to make him compete more. You can't let you don't let a man come in your face and within 10 minutes he got your phone number without working. Because you just gave him exactly what he wanted. Why would you do that?
That's true.
Why would you give him your phone number within 10, 15, 20 minutes of meeting him and his phone number is already full? It's already full. You honestly think at your age, 25, let's say you say you date me in 29, you still in a sticky situation. So if you meet a guy 29, 30 years old, he got his stuff together, that's cool. But you actually think his cell phone is not full of women he's been conversating with before he met you?
You're right.
That's why your vetting process has to be in place to make him put in work. Your mentality has to be, okay, you want me, you're interested in me, work for me. Put some work. Show me some action. See, the F-boys, those type, they're going to say, nope, I ain't doing it. You ain't worth it. You ain't worth it. Why? Because my phone already full. I'm already sexually active with 5 women. I'm already doing this with such and such. No. I just wanted to roll in the hay with you. But since you made it so hard, bye-bye. I'll move on to the next victim. And they'll get out your face real quick. But Mr. Right is going to recognize what you're doing. Mr. Right is going to respect what you're doing. And he will not have any problems going through that process. Because he knows exactly what you're doing, and he respects that. That's what men are looking for when you talk about choosing a wife. You're showing him that you have standards. You're showing him that you respect yourself. No. So that's what you got to work on. See, on the screen right now, if you see that book is full. It's full of some of the most effective vetting strategies you can have. If you like what I'm saying, you'll love that book. I promise you that.
So my last question is, does that ever stop, or do I have to always,
What's your last question?
Does that ever stop? You know how you say, put him on ice. Does that ice process ever stop, or do I have to continuously do it until marriage?
No. See. Okay. See. The ice process. The ice process is the reason why. Hold up. See, the reason why that's so important is, you cannot show a man in the initial stages that he is priority number one, even though you like him. Nothing wrong with liking him, but you cannot show him that quick that you like him that much. There's a thin line between showing a man interest and going over the top to show a man that, you've only met him a week, 2 weeks, a month, and now you're already head over heels for him. Hell with that. Even though he may make your heart skip a beat. Nothing wrong with that. But you can't show him that. That's why you gotta. So if he makes your heart skip a beat, he make your flesh weak, guess what? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you cannot reveal that to him that quick. That has to come way down the line. He hasn't put in the work. Because if you let that sucker know that he makes your heart skip a beat and he makes certain parts of your body moist and wet, oh, Lord have mercy, he's going to take that and run with it. Nope, can't do it.
Thank you. Wow. I'm really going to take notes on that.
Yeah. What the video will be up. You can always go back and replay it. But you get that book, that'll be the best investment you ever made. You know,
I need to get the book.
yeah. But any questions or comments you wanted to add? I have somebody on hold. I want
No, that's it. Thank you so
all
much.
right. You have a good night here.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye bye. All right. I hope Miss Reed is still on the. Let me see. How do I do this? Add right. Oops. Ah, Miss Reed.
Yes.
Okay. Now I got to figure out how to bring you up on this screen. Now hold on. I hope I do it. Wait a minute. I did something wrong. Hold on. Okay. I'm hoping my audience can see. All right. Can you see me, Miss Reed?
I can see you. It's a half screen.
Okay, so we're both on half. All right, I know what I need to do. Hold on. Oh Lord, I messed up. All right. What in the world did I just do? Oops. All right. I don't know if the audience can see you. All right. I need the audience to help. Miss Reed, I apologize that this is my first time doing this. So just bear with me.
Okay.
Audience, can you see Miss Reed on the on your screen? All right, Stacy. Okay, somebody said she's there. Okay, so they can see you. All right. Well, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed after this, but I'm good.
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
I'm from New Jersey. We had a consultation about a month ago. Yes, it's been a month.
I remember. I remember. First of all, I want to say thank you. I appreciate that. And what you want to talk about tonight?
Nothing. I typed in the chat that I just wanted to be a guinea pig, but I don't have nothing, any complaints. I've been putting your vetting into system and into play. I don't really have any complaints about anything. I think we thoroughly went over everything.
Yeah. What now? Are you currently dating, or is that too personal, or what's going on?
Not personal.
Okay.
I've given my email out to 10 males.
Okay. How's that going?
I've already weeded out 5.
Thank you. See. One of the things I like about you, Miss Reed, is that number one, you realize that you are the prize, and you realize that since you're the prize, that if a man wants a prize, he has to compete. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't want to compete, then oh well. And that's and that's the main thing that I try and get ladies to understand. See, men, we are at our best when we are in compete mode. And if we're not competing with you, that should be a clear indicator right there. We're not interested. That's why men, we want things so easy. See, the men with the bad intentions, they are trying their best way to just skate around anything that makes them have to put in any type of work. They're trying to get around that. If you got a security system in place, men are take a shovel and try and dig a hole under the fence and just climb and just belly crawl underneath that fence and get in. That's why so many car burglars out there. A lot of those times they don't even break the glass. What they do is they'll just walk up to your car and just check and see if your doors are unlocked. And you come outside and say, "Man, my purse is gone." But Nobody broke the glass or anything. Well, you left the doors unlocked. And some of those guys,
Right.
all they do is just walk car to car, just checking the doors to see if the door is unlocked. And if the door is unlocked, they go in and see what's in the car, valuables or whatnot. And that's how some of you ladies are without a proper vetting system, without a proper system in place to weed out these guys. Because as I always say, the good men know exactly what you are doing, and the good men honor you for that. They honor you for that. Why? Because it shows that you have standards. Every man is looking for a lady that has standards. I'm sorry, Miss Reed, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing. I'm just agreeing. I'm just living day by day, not putting them as a priority, and I'm just living my life.
Yeah, yeah. And you're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm closer to New York.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's talk about putting men on ice. Have you been able to implement that strategy?
Oh yes, I'm probably the queen of ice.
Tell us about how that's been going.
One of them I bumped into them, and he just asked me, did I get his email, and I said, oh, I'll get to it.
There you go. Say that again.
He asked me if I got his email, and I told him I'll get to it.
That's it.
I'm busy. I'm working on projects.
That. Thank you. Let a man know you got a life. Let a man know, hey, hey, I'll put you on the agenda when I get time to put you on the agenda. See, men, what they're trying to do is not only are they trying to get in, they're trying to get in quick. They expect that they're going to be Big Daddy, Big Papa within 2 weeks or a week. You got to shut that down. You got to say, no, yeah, you cute, you're fine. You know, you got a lot of good things going for you. But guess what? Me? I got things going on right now in my life as well. And I'll get to you when I get to you. Make him think. Put him off balance. Put him on roller skates. Let him understand. Listen, there are other men who are interested in me as well. You're not the only one, Jack. You're not the only one interested in me. I'm not going to drop everything that I'm doing for you. Are you nuts? I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how sexy he is. And once again, if you find him sexy and fine, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Put him to work. Men, we love to work, and we will work. And sometimes I wonder, do you ladies understand that we will work like a Oklahoma mule for you? We will work. Man. Who was that? Smokey Robinson said, I would do anything. I would go anywhere. There's nothing I wouldn't do just to see her again. She brightens up my every day, makes me feel so good in every way. Do y'all understand that? Who was that? Lord have mercy. Y'all got me going back. Marvin Jr. of the Dells. Man, these people made some beautiful songs. Eddie Kendricks of the Temptations, he said, you surely must know Magic Girl because you changed my life. It was dull and ordinary. You made it sunny and bright. What? I was blessed the day I found you, gonna build my whole world around you. And then he went into the hook when he said, you're everything, you're my everything. Ain't nothing changed. Did we lose Miss Reed? All right, she may pop back in. Miss Reed, if you're still there, come on back in. All right, phone line is open. Somebody was trying to call in from what is that? A 261 number? What is 261? Anybody recognize that? All right. Somebody said there's an echo. We got 24 in the building. All right, who wants to call in on the chat on the eCam? We know that it's working. I just got to figure out how to bring the other screen up. All right. Let's see. We got a question. Lady Ray says, "Can you talk about vetting a man while on vacation?" Yeah. If the vacation, let's say the vacation is 7 days or less, tell him you're on vacation. You'll talk to him when you get back. Oh, you just hit him with a roundhouse right. You just hit him with a roundhouse right that lets him know once again you are not a priority right now. You could be right now. Nope. Hold on, somebody. All right.
Sorry.
No problem. All right. What were you saying? I think you dropped off.
You were just explaining how you need to put the men on ice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I know. I was talking about a few songs that were made, but ladies, please understand that men will work for you. I promise we will work like you, like a Texas mule. We really will. But we will not work if you making things easy. We will not marry you if you're doing wifely things. Well, let me take that back. The chances are highly that we will not marry you if you're giving us wifely things already. No, we got to cut some of this stuff out. You can't. You just cannot make things so easy for a man where he doesn't even compete for you. See a man who honors a woman, like Miss Reed and the ladies in the chat. A man can spot a mile away when you have standards and when your standards will not be compromised. And like I said, the good men will stick around and the good men will recognize what you're doing and they're going to come up to another level. Well, what level is that? Whatever level you set. If you set that level, hey, ain't no sex going on here, son, until a ring is on my finger. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. You show him. That's all. That's why I have specific instructions after every date what to do. Why? Because you got to be one step ahead of the game. I'm dropping a video. Hopefully it'll drop tonight or tomorrow for sure. Shout out to Niz. Niz, one of the loyal listeners, sent me you guys may have seen it already. I'm doing a reaction video, but a young lady went out on a date with a young man. This is the first date. And so they're sitting at the table and he starts asking her some questions that the young lady doesn't appreciate. She starts to record him and the recording starts when the young man's saying, we're going back to my place. And she's like, no, we ain't going back to your place. Where he was like, well, basically get home the best way you know how to get home. You're going to walk home. And she was like, well, why you going to make me walk home? Because he's like, well, I'm physically attracted to you. So in other words, the man was expecting sex from the lady on the first date. And since she declined his advances to go back home with him, he said, walk home. But if you read my book, you listen to my podcast, what's one of the things I tell you? That's why I tell ladies, if you go on a date, you meet him there. You go in your own car. See, all of that could have been avoided if some of you ladies take heed from advice from a man. I don't have any skin in the game. I'm not trying to get with none of you young ladies or ladies in general. No. But I'm trying to tell you how men operate. That's why I tell you, don't get in his car. Meet him there. I've stressed that so many times. I've written that in the book. Meet him there. Well, if you don't have transportation, you pick a place, you pick a location that's close to your vicinity. You take an Uber or a taxi or have one of your friends drop you off, but don't get in his car. See, that could have easily been avoided. The young man told the lady, get home the best way you know how to get home, because you ain't riding back with me. You walking. Just because she refused to go back to his place and have sex with him or whatnot. No. See, a lot of those things could be avoided. That's why I tell you, in the initial stages, you cannot take anything what a man says at face value. I guarantee you that young man who she went out with, when she first met him, was so charming. He was so smooth. All his words flowed out so good. And once again, a lion in sheep's clothing. Go ahead, Ms. Reed. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. I just wanted to be your guinea pig, and that's it. Yeah, I don't have no other updates. We're still just vetting.
There you go.
I already know my pool is small because I don't like smokers, and I don't like dating men with kids. So my pool is tight. And I'm a woman in my 30s, even though I look young. A lot of people think that I'm like in my 20s, but yeah, my pool is small, so I already know I'm gonna have a while to go.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm not mistaken, what New York City is what, right across the bridge?
Yeah, about 20 minutes away.
Yeah. You mean to tell me New York City, the largest city in America? No good men that you've run across?
The crazy thing is, I'd rather Southern males before New York men.
Wait, say that again?
I'd rather date Southern men than New York men. No? Yeah, New York men, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, man, you deal with these dudes in the South. Listen, hey, okay, we all like what we like. I respect that, but hey, the South, man, that's a whole different.
I'm not gonna say the South, but I'll say the DMV. That ain't too South.
I got you.
That ain't too South, like Alabama and Georgia. No. Not too deep in the South, but. I mean, but I'm not picky, but yeah, New York men just don't do it for me.
I got you. Okay, I totally
too arrogant for the most part, and I just don't tolerate that. I will cut you off or put you on ice. I'm queen of ice.
There you go. Well, thank you, Miss Reed. Anything else you want to add?
That is it.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for support. Don't be a stranger. Keep me on the updated, and also make sure you send me an invitation when you get that marriage proposal, because it's coming. Oh, it's coming.
We shall see.
Trust me, it's coming. You just hold to what you got. It's coming. Trust me.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have a good night here.
You too.
All right. All right. Take care. All right. All right. So that was Miss Reed, called in from New Jersey. Thank you so much. Got to put this. All right. So that's the link. Hopefully you can see it in the chat. What time is it? I got 8:34 Central Standard Time. Somebody say he loved. Let me put that on there. Somebody say he loved his buzzer. Yeah, I was just having fun on that. But when she said, when Miss Reed said she preferred the Southern guys, oh my goodness. Does anybody else prefer Southern men? But then, she clarified it. She said the DMV. Does anybody prefer Southern men? Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana. Anybody? All right, let me see who we got coming in here. Makes me feel so good. Hello, Janae.
Janae, hi.
Well, hello. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Well, thank you so much. Listen, first of all, I want to apologize because I have butchered your name so many times.
Oh, you're fine. It's totally fine.
And I know you were saying, wow, when is this guy going to get my name right? So once again, pronounce it correctly for me.
So my first name is Jamie, and my middle name is Janae.
Ah, Janae. So you prefer to be referred to as Janae?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you so much. What you got tonight?
So I actually just wanted to suggest something. Now that you have the panel going forth now, I just wanted to ask you, is it okay that whenever you discuss certain topics that us women can cam up and have discussions based on the topic?
Oh, of course. Without a doubt. Yes. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's going to be based on your preference. So if you notice on YouTube, the trend now is that a host will have a topic, and based on that topic, several people can cam up at once and chime in and give their 2 cents. And then the host, discusses amongst the group.
Of course. Yeah. Let's do that. Now, the only thing I just got to figure out how to make this available to multiple cameras.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, old heads. It takes us a while to figure this out because this is let me see, the screen that was built. This is the screen that was built, and I was supposed to be able to. I don't know how to add. Let me see. See, she's supposed to be there. Well, I got to work on that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was that screen that I just switched from. That was the one that was built, and the guy showed me exactly how to do it, but I forgot just that quick. But yes, we can definitely do that for sure. Where are you calling in from?
So remember me from Memphis? Remember when I called about the eye contact?
Oh yeah, Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course. So how are things going in Memphis?
Well, since this is also a metropolitan city, it's slow here too.
Mm-hmm.
Very widespread. But there's still good places to eat and dine in. It's not really a touristy city. So you really have to find things to do here. But I just came from a bar a couple hours ago, and I enjoyed myself. I didn't see anyone in particular that I was interested in, but I did sit next to a lovely couple who kept me entertained, and they were hilarious.
Yeah.
And I had a good drink. I had some good food.
Yeah.
And I had a good time when I was there. So.
Okay. So let's say you were at the bar and you did meet somebody that you were interested in. Let's talk about your vetting process. You have one in place?
Okay, let's do it like this. So I don't know if this is actually a chain restaurant, but there's a restaurant that I just came from a couple hours ago. It's called Southern Social. It's a fine dining restaurant, and the food is so good. It's down home cooking, but it's very fine. It's a real fine dining restaurant. Very high scale. They have the white tablecloths. Really expensive food, but really good food. So when I came, they have valet parking. They valet your car, and then you walk in and you're greeted by the host, and they walk you either to a table, a booth, or to sit at the bar. So I opted for the bar. So if I were to see a man, let's say I got there first and then he got there second, because I got there as soon as the establishment opened at 4, and I stayed for like an hour and a half, so I was there for a good amount of time. If a man was to walk in, maybe say like around 5 p.m., and I'm already digging into my food, I'm already, drinking and stuff like that, whatever. I guess I would first, because I look around, right? I would first make sure that he's paying attention to me. Because if it's clear to me that he isn't looking in my direction, then why should I be looking in his and looking like I'm staring at him, right? So he would have to first be looking in my vicinity, looking in my direction. And if we match eye contact, which is what we were talking about, I have to work on, I have to maintain that eye contact.
Yeah.
And so what I came up with in my theory is that instead of me looking away like I used to do, what I will do is smirk. So instead of, like, I know you said don't do 32 teeth, I would never do that. Never have, never will. But if that man is looking at me and we lock eyes, so I'll do it right now. So he's looking at me and I'm looking this way, and then I turn. And then from that point forward, if we continue to meet eyes throughout the evening and he makes his way over, then I will. Obviously, I'm a nice person, but like when I was talking to the lovely couple that was sitting to the left of me, I was very smiley and open and energetic. But with the man, I'm going to be calm, cool, collected, even though I'm a very high energy, high spirited individual. But I'm learning to, when it comes to meeting a man, because I don't know, maybe that can come across as too flirty,
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just be like, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Something like that,
There you go.
That's what I would do.
All right. Then when it gets down to the phone number, the exchange of information.
You already shut that down. Actually, could I give you my email?
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I know some of you ladies may be looking and thinking that, that's so outdated, or nothing wrong with giving a man your phone number. But again, from a male's perspective, I'm a huge believer in putting men to work, putting us to work, because we will work. And on the flip side, you want to weed out the men who do not want to work. Because the easier it is for a man to get in, the more men will keep doing the same things. And so what you don't want to do is you don't want to present yourself like a revolving door where people can just come in and leave and come in and leave and come in and leave. You don't want to do that. You want to have a system in place that the bad guys, the guys with the bad intentions, they're going to be like, nah, that's too much work, man. I ain't got time for that. I'm going to move on to the next victim. And that's what you want. That's totally what you want. The men who are not willing to put in the work, you don't need that. Nope, you don't need it. So hopefully, some of the things that we talk about can hit home. And then you also got to think about the safety factor. I mean, even though you could be attracted to the person, you absolutely know nothing about him. You're just meeting him. You don't know, you don't know if he's out on parole. You don't know if he's an abuser. You don't know if he's an alcoholic. You don't know if he's a drug addict. So you have to have something in place. Because again,
sorry.
you're good. You got some very, very, very smooth talkers out there, and some men will tell you exactly what they want, what they think you want to hear. I'm sorry, Janae, go ahead.
And also, I said this in the chat a couple lives ago, but as well as when you meet him there in your car, you also need to make sure that you leave separately, because there's something about when he walks you to his car, he can identify your car and even look at the license plate, that could be a little bit of, you might want to steer clear. So make sure you guys leave separate. He doesn't need to walk you to your car. If anything, if you're going to a fine dining establishment and you valet your parking, there's probably people standing there who can, walk you to your car if there's security or what have you. But in the event that there is not, and it's just the two of you, you guys probably should leave separate and make sure he leaves first.
Yeah. Oh, excellent advice. Excellent. And like she said, you got to be one step ahead of the guy, and just to piggyback on what she said, as far as guys walking you to your car, the main reason we want to walk you to your car is we want to kiss. So you got to be ahead of that. And guess what? We don't want to kiss on the cheek. We're gonna push that envelope. So you got to be one step ahead of that. And just as Janae said, just end the date. First of all, like I always recommend, compliment him if he was good. Tell him you really enjoyed his time. You really enjoyed his company. Tell him he seems to be a nice person. He's going to ask, when can we do it again? And you put the ball in his court. And you said, let me get back with you. Put him back on ice again. But all you have to do is just give him small compliments. I enjoyed your time. I enjoyed the conversation. You seem to be a nice guy. That's all he needs. But like I said, we want to walk you to that car. Why? Because we want that goodnight kiss. Now, when we, like I said earlier, and we don't want to kiss on the jaw, he want to stick his tongue down your throat. If you want to be real with it. Why? Because he's trying to check your temperature. Trying to see how much you feel him. Now, does that mean if you give him a French kiss or whatnot, you're going to have sex?
You think they'll do that on the first night?
Who, a man?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. If you allow it. Okay. All I'm doing is telling you ladies what's going on through a man's mind. See, we're trying to test you to see, number one, because if you kiss, and then that tongue kiss, French kiss, whatever you want to call it, we're trying to see, okay, can this lead to you go back to my place or can I go back to yours? So you got to be one step ahead of that and just nip that in the bud. And I highly recommend that you end the date with a few compliments. And as Janae said, you go to your car, he goes to his. But he's going to try and play that gentleman role. Well, at least let me walk you to your car. But you better know what's coming behind that. Once you get to your car, you put your key in the car or whatever. You think he's going to walk off? No, he's going to be right there expecting what? A good night kiss. And that's why I tell women, But some ladies say I'm, old-fashioned, antiquated, old school, all that. But hey, I'm telling you how a man thinks.
Right.
He's trying to check you. He's trying to check you.
I don't think that is antiquated advice. I feel like it's actually up to today's time because a lot of it is straying away from pursuing a woman, and they want to be pursued now. So.
Yeah. See, we want to walk you to that car for that kiss, rub on your behind, and try and hug you tight and rub on any part of your body that you'll let us rub on. That's why you got to be one step ahead, knowing that's what we want. So if that's what we want, don't do it. And going back to what I talked about earlier, the video where the young lady went out with the guy, and the guy tell the young lady, okay, you don't want to go home to have sex with me, you walk home. But she should have never, ever allowed him to pick her up in the first place. See, men, if you allow us to plan the date, we're planning the date in a way that's advantageous to us. That's why if you don't set the tone that you're gonna meet us there, we're gonna tell you, okay, what time you want me to pick you up? We're gonna say that real quick. Okay, Janae, what time do you want me to pick you up? Because we're hoping that you answer, okay, pick me up at 8 o'clock. I'm going to text you my address. And then we're going to get the car detailed, or we're going to detail it. We're going to have it smelling fresh and all that. But don't get in his ride. That could have easily been avoided. Don't get in his car in the initial stages. You go in your car, or like I said, if you don't have a vehicle, pick a place that's close to you, get an Uber, taxi, have your girl drop you off or whatnot, pick you up. But if you let us set the tone, if you let us decide where the dates and the times, everything is going to coincide to what our hidden agenda is. His hidden agenda was he want to get her back to his apartment as quick as possible and having sex with her. See, the good thing about that, he revealed he was an amateur. See, he revealed he was an amateur. I'm glad she didn't go for that. But see, a seasoned guy, what he would have did was, even though his motive is to get you back to the house, he would have taken you out on a date, and he would have tried to extend the date by going to another location, and then possibly another location, even though in the back of his mind he wants to get you back to the house. He wouldn't have did it like that. He would have did it a lot more smoothly. Take you to the restaurant. Next thing you know, we're going to take a walk downtown, or we're going to a jazz club, or we're going to a comedy club, or we're going to a movie. And then we leave the movies, we go to, cigar bar, jazz club, or whatnot. So he would have strategically had more places to try and pique your interest to see where your sexual interest was. And then after, that third place that he took you to, man, it's getting late. Let's go back to your place of mind. Doesn't mean she would have did it, but seasoned guys, they're not going to do that off. They're not going to reveal their hands like that. Not right off the bat. No. Go ahead, Janae. I'm sorry.
No, that's not me. I don't know. They're cracking now. I'm sorry. That's me. I'm not sure.
All righty. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah. As you were speaking, can you hear me here?
I'm kind of getting the audio. Somebody it's kind of choppy.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if it's on my end or what.
Yeah, I can hear it too. Can you hear me? Can you hear me through the bathroom?
I can hear you.
What's going on here?
Shout out to Sabrina Oscar Rivera, the professor from New York City. Thank you for tuning in. Cat BX, thank you for coming in. Amy Sue.
Let's see.
Cat BX said, it is true, long time ago, I had one try me like that. I was like, no, low budget, thinking I had poop. Oh, Lord.
Is there any way I can come back on real quick? Can you hear me?
I can hear, but it's kind of chopped up.
Okay.
You want to log off and try and come back? I'll be here. All right. Adrian Edwards says, part of my vetting process is to show up in an Uber and leave in an Uber. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if it's a little better.
Okay, is that better?
Much better, much better. Hopefully, it's much better on the audience's end as well. So, what were you saying?
Okay. As you were speaking, I actually had a flashback about this hell day, I like to call it, that I went on when you were talking about men who are very proactive and they do too much on the first date. So this was years ago, 2019, maybe? Yeah, 2019. And I met this man, of all places, Walmart. I was in the toothpaste aisle buying Listerine, and he was selling me cable. And I thought that was so odd, but he had been following me prior to, greeting me and trying to sell me cable, but he just used that as an excuse to get my number. So this is way before I knew to give an email. I gave him my number, and we planned a first date. So we ended up going to P.F. Chang's, and when I say from the time we got there to the time he drove me back home, it was hell. It was all bad. And so we made it to P.F. Chang's. Mind you, I would never go back there. The food was terrible. The service was even worse. But when we first got sat, I won't lie, my outfit, I had on a crop top, it was kind of like I can't really describe it, but it was a spaghetti strapped crop top. And I had on these really cute, like, bell-bottom pants, and I had a jean jacket to cover, like a biker type. It was a really cute outfit, but, in hindsight, it was very revealing. And at the time, I had, like, a bob wig when I used to wear wigs. And so you can see cleavage, right? Enough cleavage to where, he asked me my cup size. And so when he asked me, though, he was looking at my chest. I'm talking about whatever, and he's like looking at me like this. What's your cup size? And I was like mid sentence. He's like, what's your cup size? And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna say the answer, but I told him, and he was like, oh, okay. And then that led to more sexual questions. So he just kept it flowing, right, all night. And I started to feel very uncomfortable. And then he kind of stopped for a minute, and we started to look at a drink menu. And I said, I really don't care, what kind of drink we get. If anything, I'm not really a drinker. We can share it. And he's just like, okay, yeah, we can do that. I don't really drink either. I said, no, you know what? Let's not even get a drink or whatever. And so we ended up ordering our food. And I did not know what I wanted to eat at first, but I ended up ordering like some kind of eggplant thing, and it was disgusting. And then when it was time to get the check, the waiter gave me the check. It was very odd, and I remember I had my water cup in my hand because, like I said, we actually opted out of getting an alcoholic beverage, and we just decided to just get water. And I was drinking my water. She comes to the table with the check, but she grabs my water while it's in my hand, and I'm drinking it. Not once did I, prompt her to like I put on the table to say like I'm done or anything like that. I had it in my hand and I was drinking it, and she grabbed it from the bottom. And I like looked at her like, she was like, "Oh, you're not done?" And I, what the hell? And then she puts the check in front of me, and so he looks up because he was like looking down, like, and he was like eating, and then he looks up and he was just like, "Oh no, that's for me." So he gets the check or whatever. And I was like, that is so weird. And I was like, wow. So he pays it, and then as we're going out the door, he goes like, and I was like, because he opens the door, and I go in front of him. And he was like, I was like, what? He was like, man, you just don't know. And I was like, I don't know what. And he's like, nothing. And so it dawned on me that he was looking at my behind. And he could not stop making sounds about it. And so I'm walking like out of the door. It was 2 doors. So we got out the first door, and then we got out the second door. And he was walking so slow. I'm walking toward his truck, and like he's walking all slow behind me, just watching me walk. I said, can you come on, like, let's go. And so we get in his car, and I rest my hand on the, what do you call it, the console? The middle console. And so he puts his hand on top of my hand, and I look at him, and he was like, what, I can't set your hand? And he kind of had this demeanor, like I can do what I want, because I can't lie, he was very attracted to me at the time. That's why I think it's a hell day, because it was a date sent from hell by the devil, because the devil also knows what you like. True. So I was attracted to this man, But he kind of had that I can do what I want, like, type of demeanor. So he was like, what, I can't touch your hand? And I was like, oh, you can touch it. Like, I was so, like, looking back, it was terrible. I was like, no, you can touch it. And I remember I had to make one last stop, and I asked him, I said, can we stop at Walmart? Because I actually had to go get something from Walmart that I forgot to go get. And I said, can we please stop at Walmart before you take me home? He was like, man, I really don't want to go to Walmart. I was like, I'm not asking you to buy anything. I just want to get something and come right out. You can stay in the car. He was like, nah, see, it's like I'm going back to work. I don't want to go to Walmart. And I was like, wow. So that was like another strike, because it's like you go from asking me my cup size, asking me a sexual question, looking at my behind, groping my hand, and now refusing to take me to Walmart after I asked. And I know you're the driver, so you can do what you want behind the wheel, whatever. But this is what takes the cake. So we just 86 that because he said no, and he takes me home. So he puts the car, his truck, in park. And so right before I get out, we say our goodbyes, but he stops. So I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and he literally takes the back of my head and goes like this to kiss me. Yeah, he did. And I went around, with my head, and I was like, what are you doing? He was like, what? I thought you wanted a kiss.
Wow.
How can someone possibly want a kiss by you taking the back of their head and going like this? I didn't prompt you, I didn't say anything or do anything to make you think that's what I wanted, but you literally grabbed my head to force me to kiss you. And it was so weird. And from that day forward, I did not talk to him ever again. But prior to the days, leading up to that, we were fine. We were having regular phone calls. He was a great conversationalist, but it seemed as though the day we actually got, were face to face on a date, he changed.
Yeah.
He was a complete, like, douchebag when we actually were face to face. Like, it was just all for sex. And so when you were discussing men and how they have these sexual urges when they see you on the first date, it reminded me of that date I went on back in 2019.
Yeah. Thank you for revealing that to us. The only thing I would say is you said that he changed. I would say that he did not change. Yeah. He revealed himself as the type of man that he really was. Yeah. So again, that was another one of those lions in sheep clothing. Ooh, yeah. Because the real person is always going to come out, and usually it's going to come out when a man wants sex or when a man has had sex with a woman, and maybe multiple times, maybe one time, multiple times. He's gotten tired of the sex or whatnot. But that's usually when the real person comes out. And so I just applaud you for that. Again, thank you for revealing that. That was the first date?
That was the first and last date.
Yeah. What now I'm just going to ask you this question. You don't have to answer it. Why did you decide to allow him to pick you up?
Because I was dumb. I didn't know. This was years ago. I used to always let men pick me up, even though I've had a car since I was 19 years old. I'll be 26 next month, so I've had a car for a long time.
I got you.
and I, for some reason, I've always let men come and pick me up, but I nipped that in the bud 2 years ago. I don't do that anymore.
Ah, there you go. There you go. So I'm glad you changed that, because those are things that we look for, and that's why a lot of times that we're so willing to pick you up, because a lot of times, like I said, those true motives that we have will be revealed. So thank you for sharing that. Anything else you want to add?
Nope, but keep doing what you're doing. And as far as this panel and allowing the women to cam up, we should do this more often. It's really fun. And I think you would enjoy it too if you are able to find out how to add more people.
Yes, yes. Trust me, I will. I think you're the person who gave me the inspiration. I think it was either you or Lady Ray.
It was me and Ray. We really want to like come on and
That's
like have
right.
open discussions with you.
Yeah. So I guess Lady Ray is gonna cam up next then when you get off.
She better. Hey Ray, come on up, girl. Yeah.
All right, Janae. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
being
Bye.
a loyal supporter. All right, Lady Ray, we're waiting on you. Okay, phone line is open, 225-397-6922, 225-397-6922. Anybody want to call in? Anybody want to cam up? That's fine as well. Again, thank you, Janae and Lady Ray, for bringing this to my attention. You know, you got to forgive the old heads with technology. You know, we're always the last ones on it. So it'll take me a little while, but I'll figure out how to make it so multiple cameras can be played at one time. Don't forget, Monday, Labor Day, and then the following Thursday, I will not be on. I'll be on the next Monday. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but again, Labor Day, Monday coming up, and the following Thursday, a week from today, I will not be doing YouTube Live. I have some business that I need to take care of. So I got 9:06 on my end. Anything you would like to talk about, we can. We got 29 in the room, 22 likes. If not, we can call it a night. Thank you, everybody, who cammed up. So I just got to work on a few things and make sure that those things are working correct. Anybody who wants to call in, you don't have to cam up. Once again, phone number 225-397-6922. JoJo 1. Thank you for tuning in, JoJo. She says Memorial Day. Yes. What plans do you guys have for Memorial Day? Anybody going out of town? Good evening, caller. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hiya. I always miss your live because I'm in London and the time here is crazy, but somehow I am up at 3 a.m.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for staying up with us.
You're welcome. I really enjoy your show. So, yeah, I always try and catch up when I can or catch it afterwards. I don't know. Do you have like a topic today?
Yeah. The topic was the vetting process for vetting men. I was talking about the importance of the vetting process, and then that's when the phone calls started to come in. How are you?
Okay.
You got an update for us? I hadn't heard from you in a while. I was wondering what happened to you.
Yeah. I have been dating and meeting people.
Great.
Yeah. I've definitely met a lot more people since we've spoken, and it's been really interesting.
Excellent. What do you think is the reason why you've met you started to meet more people?
Well, I've been going out a lot more. So on weekends, I would go on like days out. So a lot of guys approach me then, or just, I've just been out a lot more. So yeah, I think that's caused me to meet a lot more people.
Great. You want to talk about some of the experiences? I mean, it's good experiences, I'm guessing.
Yeah, some good and some I'm not too sure. So I am
22. So I think my one of the questions I have for you is like, what do you think like the oldest is I should go for? Because I do tend to like run into older guys who approach me. I'm like fine with it, but then I'm like, I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't know what to like, if it's a good thing or not. So yeah, I wanted to know like your advice on that.
Yeah. If you don't mind, how old are you? Now, if you don't want to reveal that, I totally understand.
Yeah. So I'm 22.
22?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you're saying that the majority of the men who you are meeting are older?
Yes, I tend to get approached by a lot of older men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe it's because the things I'm looking for are more things that older guys have. I don't know, but that just seems to be the case.
So when you say older, are you talking about men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, or what are you saying?
Okay. Not past the 50s, but definitely the 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. See. First of all, you're always. I know you said you called from London. I mean, no matter where you live at, you could live in South America, you could live here in North America, wherever you live at. Older men are always going to approach younger women. Now, I don't know, I don't know what your preference is. The only thing I can tell you is, if you are attracted to an older man, let's say you meet a man and let's say you're 22 and let's say he's 40. So that's an 18-year gap. But he treats you nice, you like him, and you feel that he's a good guy. The best advice I can give you is, number one, that age gap is always going to be there. Then number two, it's only going to continue to be there, but in a way where he's going to get older. And will you be mentally strong enough to be able to handle that? For example, if he's, 40 and you're 22, in 10 years, he'll be 50, then you'll be 32. So you'll still be beautiful. You'll still be fit. You'll still have all those things going, but, he's older now. And then 10 more years, he'll be 60, and then you'll be 42. So, men, we could put up all the fronts in the world. When I say men, older men, we can talk about how our value increases in age, but what that means is our value on paper, our finances, our retirement, our portfolios. Yeah, those things may increase on paper, but from a biological standpoint, especially, from a sexual standpoint, that's going to decrease. So, you have to ask yourself, if we go back to the example, if he's 40 and you're 22, when you talk about sexual compatibility, at 40 years old, can he perform sexually? Of course he can, but he can't perform sexually as good as he could when he was 22, 23, 25, not even close. So you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to, you have to ask yourself the pros and the cons. What am I? Okay, yes, he treats me the way I want to be treated. He's a complete gentleman. He's everything. But, there's some things on the back end that you're just going to have to accept. And can you live with that? Can you live with the possibility maybe one day, he may have a stroke and he may have to learn how to walk again? Can you live with the possibility whereas, he may have to take Viagra? He can't perform sexually the way, he used to. Can you live with those things? Even though on paper, he could be, from a financial standpoint, he could be very, very, very well off. So those are the things that some of the young ladies, who are attracted to older men, those are some of the things that you just have to consider. The time is not going to stop, and that age gap is going to remain what it is.
Yeah.
What would you prefer? Do you prefer older men, or do you prefer men more your age?
I think I do prefer older men. It seems to just be something that naturally happens for me or in my life. So, I think that's, I think I do prefer older men. I actually did meet this guy recently who is 40 actually, and like he ticks every box that I've wanted for a long time to be ticked. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but obviously, sometimes we do talk about the age difference and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I don't know. It tends to be kind of what happens.
Yeah. See, I just want you to weigh the pros and cons, because see, at 22, you're in the prime of your life. And let's say you're a very outgoing person. You know, you like to do things, you like activities. You know, sometimes when you're dealing with an older guy, an older guy will look at you and say, listen, I've been through that. I've been through that stage of life. I just want to stay home. I just want to be, I want to be, a homebody. And you may be the type that want to get out. You may like to travel. You may have hobbies. You may like to play tennis. You may like to jog. You may like to exercise. And he could be totally honest. Totally opposite. You may decide one day that you want children. He may be in a point in life where he either has kids, and does not want any more, or he may be in a point in life where it's, okay, I'm 40 years old, I don't want any kids, I don't have any kids, I don't want any kids. So, there's a word that's called evolution. That word means to change over time. So the person you are right now at 22, you could be a totally different person at 24 or 25. And some of the things that you may have interest in now, there may be other things that you're interested in, when you're 25 and 26. You may meet an older guy. He says, listen, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I don't want any children. So at 22, you may be feeling the same thing. Well, right now I don't want any kids either. But down the line, you may want to change your mind, at 26, 27, and, you may want kids. And he may tell you, you're like, listen, didn't I tell you years ago I didn't want kids? And see, that could cause a friction. So, you have to take all those things into account, especially when you're dealing with older men. Because one of the things about older men, you're dealing with some men that's going to be stuck in their ways. Very few older men are willing to change their ways, because a lot of them are just stuck. And they're like, nope, this is how I am. This is how it is. I'm not changing. You like to play tennis? Nope. I like to sit at home and watch TV. You like to, be more outgoing? Nope. I like to, go in the backyard and, plant my garden or whatnot. So, they look good on paper, but you got to ask yourself, sometimes it could be a tremendous trade-off that you may have to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
The young guys, you're typically not attracted to the young guys? Guys more your age?
It's not that I'm not attracted to them, but I just always find that they're not ready or in a position where I would put like trust in them to be like, oh yeah, I could see myself marrying you or anything. I always find that hard.
Yeah.
With young guys. So yeah. That's my life at the moment.
And again, I'm not trying to sound, like it's all doom and gloom. There are some great older guys out there. I was just trying to get you, to start thinking about, what are you willing to sacrifice? But some things you're going to have to give up. Some things you're going to have to sacrifice. Because I don't think there's going to be an older guy out there that's going to be completely sold on the type of things that you like to do, and you two are a perfect match. Could be. He could be out there. But you would really have to hit the lottery to find that type of guy. And if he is, how long can he keep that up? 22 years old. Ooh. I know some men that would basically be committing suicide to try and keep up with a 22-year-old lady, because what they'll be doing is they'll just keep popping Viagra and Levitra and the Cialis, all the sexual enhancement drugs. That's a tall order. So, those are some of the things you may have to think about. You may come home and, you may be in the mood, and you rub on him and pet on him, and he's like, nah, baby, not tonight. I'm on recharge. Leave me alone. I'm going to sleep. So, those are some of the things that you have to keep in the back of your mind, because it's always going to be pros and cons.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I wanted to ask another question.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to even word this question, but I'm sure, I don't know, I think other ladies must have this problem. So I'm trying to wait until I'm engaged to engage in sexual intimacy, and but I find a lot of guys are very they're just full on. They're just full on. So it's what are some of the ways that you would say that? What are some of the ways that you would say that would help us ladies to stay in our mindset and stay in what we want to do?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that I understand your question. You're saying what advice do I have for ladies who want to save themselves, who don't want to have premarital sex, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, what I would advise you is, number one, if that's...
And what if the guy's the opposite? Because obviously not everyone's thinks the way you think, or religious, and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So the second part of the question, of the comment, I didn't hear it all. I think you were saying to make sure that guys understand that's your belief and the way you want the relationship to go. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, how does a lady go about leading in that way? Because guys are very full on.
Yeah.
In I don't know how to explain it, but they're just so full on in I guess the moment they see you, they just want to have sex with you or something, Yeah. So how does a lady keep her values and keep the fact that that's not what she wants to do yet until she gets that commitment? Right. Yeah, how do I lead in that? Because he might not have the same values as me. He might not. He might be thinking, she doesn't like me, or this or that. So how do I keep leading in that way? If that makes sense.
I got you. Yeah. See, what you have to do is, your name is Aaliyah, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So what you have to do, Aaliyah, is whatever you do not tell a man. You got to show him. In other words, don't tell him you're the type of lady who wants to wait until she's married to have sex. Don't tell him that. You got to show him. How do you show him? You show him with your actions. What's going to happen? How do I show him with my actions? See, men, no matter if it's Mr. Right, Mr. Right is still going to try and test you to see if there's a chance that he could, catch you on a vulnerable day where you may, concede and actually have sex with him. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is, see, all of that is based upon you. You have to have the discipline, because Mr. Right will try you. He'll try you. But if you don't give in, he's still going to be there. Now, the other guys, the guys, the F-boys, those type, they're going to hit the road. But the guy that you're attracted to and the guy that you think would make a great husband for you, trust me, he's thinking the same thing about you, that you're going to be a good wife for him. But again, don't tell him verbally, you just got to show him. Don't tell him you're a virtuous woman. Show him you're a virtuous woman. Don't tell him you're the type of woman who likes to take things slow. Take it slow. That's all you have to do. Don't tell him anything. You got to show him with actions. And I promise you, if he's the right man for you, he's going to be on board with your program and with your agenda. But like I said, whatever you do, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Because men, we do not understand talk. We don't understand talk. Now, we understand actions. And that's what you got to do. You got to have your vetting process in place. Whereas, you're showing the guy that you have interest in him, but not sexual interest. We can pick up on it, and we know the two. And we know when you're not teasing us. We know. That's what's going to make Mr. Right, once again, respect you more, because why? You're respecting yourself. Because now you're moving yourself. See, men, we'll look at how you conduct yourself based upon how you as a lady conduct yourself. That's what makes us put you in certain categories like wife material, fiance material, or you pivot or make the wrong move, you'll be booty call material. You'll be friends with benefits material. You'll be F-buddies material. So all of that is based upon how you conduct yourself and how you play it. We're on the same page?
Mm-hmm.
And once again, see, at 22 years old, young lady, see, you got to have discipline. See, your discipline has to be so high, because at the end of the day, we all have a flesh, and our flesh only knows one thing. What is that one thing? Please me. Whether that be with food, whether that be with whatever we like, watching TV, watching Netflix, going to the movies, alcohol, sugar, candy bars, hot dogs, sex. So you see, your discipline has to be on point, has to be. And there are going to be some days where you just got to tell yourself, girl, no, we ain't going there. Nope, we're not doing that. Because your flesh can rise up and tell you to do some things that you will regret or may regret, because that flesh wants to be pleased. So you have to, your discipline has to be on point, because you could have the best vetting process in the world. But as a lady, if you don't have the discipline to go through that vetting process, because you could get hot just as quick as a man can get hot, if you want to be honest about it. A woman can get as hot and bothered just as much as a man. And if you don't have that discipline to say, "Woo, I'm hot," but it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Yeah, my flesh is jumping. It wants to do things. It wants to be pleased, but nope, I'm not doing it. See, if you don't have that type of discipline, you can have the best vetting process in the world, but it's not going to be effective. So your discipline, your discipline, young lady, has to be up to par, because men are going to try you. They're going to look for that weak spot. They're going to say, "Oh, I rubbed her thigh. I rubbed her thigh. Didn't get a reaction. Let me try and go a little higher." That's why you gotta slap that hand off of you. Don't do that. You haven't either earned the right to touch me like that. Trust me, we get the message. And we respect that. You won't be coming across as a B. You won't be coming across as conceited or stuck up. You'll come across as a lady that has respect for herself. And Mr. Right, once again, respects that you have respect for yourself. And that's what puts you into wife material categories.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you have the discipline?
Yes,
There you go.
I do. It is hard though, I
Yeah.
must say.
You're right. That is correct. It is hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, you are so right. It is hard.
Yeah.
See,
I'm
please
determined.
understand this, Aaliyah. See, men, we're going to follow your lead. We ain't turning down no sex. I promise you that. We are not turning down sex. That's not happening. That's not happening. So your discipline has to be on par, young lady. It has to be. And if you can handle that, if you can handle that fight with Aaliyah versus Aaliyah, because that's what it's gonna come down to. That's where the fight is right there. The fight is you versus you. The same way the fight is me versus me. And every day I gotta tell my flesh, nope, we ain't watching no pornography. Nope. We not masturbating. Nope. I ain't going out to the mall looking who I could pick up. Nope. I'm not doing that. Nope. I'm not gonna. I see that woman is attracted to me. Nope. I'm not gonna try and play her for sex. See, my flesh tells me to cut up every day. Every day. My flesh tells me that. I gotta tell my flesh, nope, I ain't doing it. No, I ain't masturbating. Nope, I ain't watching no pornography. That's what my flesh tells me. Nope. Go out there, man. You know all these vulnerable women out here looking for a man. You know you can go to that church you go to and rack up. That's what my flesh tells me when I go to church. Boy, that woman been had eyes on you. Oh, she's waiting on you to make the move. Like, nope, I ain't doing it. Even though my flesh is burning. Ooh, Lord. Sometimes it feel like somebody just poured a 10 gallons of gasoline on me and lit a match. And I'm 54. So just imagine the men in their 20s and 30s and 40s. What? That's a real fire. Now, but once again, I gotta tell my flesh no. On my way home from work, my flesh say stop at that Krispy Kreme donut shop and get two dozen donuts of glazed donuts. And then get a big plate of red beans and rice and cornbread and mustard green, collard greens, and get you a 2-liter Coke and eat that. And then go to KFC and get you a 5-piece of extra crispy. Gotta say no, not doing that. It's gonna clog my heart up. Eventually, I'm gonna die of a stroke or a heart attack. So that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, young lady. The battle is with you. So that's how you do it. You gotta set boundaries. You gotta tell Aaliyah what Aaliyah is and what Aaliyah is not gonna do. You'll be fine. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I guess you say this man I talked a hole in my head.
No, like everything you're saying, like I can relate and I understand. Yeah. But
see, I think it's best that we have real conversations because see you said something that's very profound when you said it's not easy, and you're right, it is not easy.
Yeah, because I feel like
my
people
goodness, it's
it
not
sounds
easy.
so easy.
No, it is not easy. It is not easy because we like what we like. And we like that feeling that certain things bring to us. So, but you can do it. You can definitely do it. Because always remember, we're going to follow your lead. What's that song Britney Spears made? She said, "Oops, I did it again." We all can attest to that. So you gotta be strong, young lady. Have you met a guy that you're really interested in, and he's showing you the same interest on the flip side?
Yes. The 40-year-old guy.
How old is he?
Yeah. He's 40.
40?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what in particular stands out about him? What has he done?
Well, from day one, he was very honest with me that he just wants to talk to me, and he was very honest about who he was and like his past and stuff, mistakes. And he's very, very outgoing, which I like. Very bubbly, very caring. He's also very responsible, which I like. He just has a lot of qualities that I look for in a man. So, yeah. He's actually been married before, so he's been divorced. And he said that him and his ex-wife, they got married within 6 months, and he said that's like what he's kind of like into. So, yeah.
How did you two meet?
We met when I was out with my friends, and he was just looking at me and stuff. And then we eventually spoke.
Oh, you met him through a friend?
So no. We met while I was out.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my friends went to an event, and he was there as well.
I got you. Yeah. So he approached you, and then you started the conversation.
Yeah.
You didn't put him through any process where he had to show that he was worthy to even get your phone number?
Yeah. I did the email thing. Yes, I did the email thing. At first, he was like, "Are you being serious?" And then he was like, "Okay, I'll have your email."
Well, yeah, I know he did. So he asked for your phone number. Explain it to me.
Yeah. So we were talking, and he was just like, "Oh, can I have your phone number?" And I was just like, "Oh, I don't really like giving out my phone number. That's for like my close friends and family." And I was just going on about it. And he was just like, "Well, I could be, how guys can try and entice you and talk about, oh, well, I could be your close friend or family and stuff." And I was just like, "No."
Yeah.
I don't actually know you and stuff.
There you go.
And then he was just going on and on. Then I eventually was like, "Oh, I really like you. I think, like you're cool from our conversation." And I was like, "You could have my email." And he was just like, "What?" he was quite shocked. Like, "What?
Yeah.
Email? Who does that now?" And I was like, "I do that because I don't like giving out my number."
Yeah.
And then eventually he was like, "Okay, can I have your email then?"
Thank you. And that's what I tell ladies. Men, we will take what we can get. Now we'll beg.
Yeah.
We'll continue to beg for the phone number, but eventually we'll take what we can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. And so he emailed you. Did you put him on ice?
Yeah. I took about a week actually. I was actually a bit busy, so I took about a week
Yeah.
to reply to him.
Good. See, Aaliyah, what I want you to realize is, you're putting him in compete mode. Make him compete for you. If this is the person you're interested in, and it sounds like you are interested in him, hey, that's totally up to you. But make him compete. the more you make us work, the more we will work. So just keep making him work. Trust me. You have him right where you want him. Because in the initial stages, the lady, the female, the woman, you set the tone. So continue your process. Make sure he abides by all your standards that you have in place. And he'll continue to abide by your vetting process. You don't have to tell him you have a vetting process in place. Just continue. You don't have to tell him that he won't have sex, or you won't have sex with him until you have a ring on your finger. Just keep doing what you're doing. Men, we catch on real quick. Yeah, you don't have to tell us anything. And I strongly advise, if you have the urge to tell a man something, don't tell him, show him with your actions.
Right.
Yeah. So keep your vetting process in place. I don't know how you feel about dates and the length of the dates, things of that nature. But hey, you keep it going. You're in.
Sorry, you said you didn't know how I feel about dates.
Well, what I was saying, I didn't know how you felt about dates in particular, like the length of dates. How long should the date last? Things of that nature. That's totally up to you.
Oh, right.
I'm just glad that you're operating in your female leverage. That you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay in control. Now, eventually, please expect this, and this is not a bad thing. Men, we are going to try and elbow you and knock you out of the driver's seat and let us take the steering wheel. That's just natural.
Yeah.
So those small things, they're going to come up, but you just got to say, nope, I'm driving this car.
I think my only issue with him, which he has kind of like been with me, is like, he's like, he's sexual and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm like, having an eye looking at, having an eyebrow raised at with him.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good. Well, listen, keep us posted. I'm very happy for you. When that wedding invitation comes out, I would love to receive one from you.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. So my last question, you seem to be happy, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
What has your family said about the age difference? Or what have your friends said about the age difference?
I think, well, my family don't know yet, but my friends aren't too bothered because they're like kind of my age, and they have the same mindset as me in terms of what we want in a guy.
Yeah.
So they are like, as long as he's obviously, because we met at the event, he actually met one of my friends, and he's so friendly, and like he was just so happy to even meet my friend and like give her a good impression of himself. So yeah, my friends think he's dope actually.
All right. Well, you sound happy, and if you're happy, I'm happy. Again, just take things slow and make sure you take things at your pace. That's the most important thing. Don't let men don't let us drive the car. Don't let us drive the bus. Don't let us drive the ship. Because if you let us drive, we're going to go from 5 miles an hour the way you were driving. We're going to try and go 200 miles an hour. We're going to take that accelerator and mash it to the floor because we want things to go fast. And that's the last thing
he definitely wants things to go fast.
Yeah. See at 22, you got to be very careful. I'm not saying this guy is that type, but see, a lot of older men will throw up things like, I know what's best. You know, I got more experience than you. You know, I know what I know what's best for you. So, like I said, I'm not saying he's that type, but a lot of men who are older, what they do is if they find a younger lady that's interested in them, a lot of times they'll try and play that psychological game that I'm smarter than you, I'm wiser than you because I've been on this earth longer than you. And so he may try, or sometimes they may try and second guess what you're doing and try and flip it to make it seem like he's right because he's older and he has more experience and he's been around that block. He knows what, you know, so you got to be careful of those types because sometimes those types, instead of trying to be a boyfriend, they'll try and turn into your father and tell you what to do and tell you what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. You know, so I don't know again if he's that type, but again, you know, you just got to be you got to be careful.
Still vetting them.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, not on my mind right now.
All right. Well, thank you for the phone call and please keep us posted.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for your advice, and I'm just going to be thinking about it all.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for staying up because you said it was 4:00 in London?
Yeah, 3:45 now a.m. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good night. Hopefully you get some rest.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. No, thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, then.
All right. Bye-bye. All righty. So that was Aaliyah calling from across the pond in London. Let me get to some of these chats real quickly. Kat BX said the email worked for her. I will try it this weekend, giving out my email if I find something interesting. Hey, it works. It works, Kat BX. Trust me. Why does it work? Because men will take what we can get. That's what you ladies got to understand. If that's all that's offered, if that's all that's on the table, we'll take that. You know, I mean, I can remember a time where, you know, back in the old days, you know, you got a woman's address before you got her physical address, before you got her phone number. Why was that? Because you had to meet her parents. See? And those are things that a lot of men, you know, in today's world, they try and skate around. You know, you got some men glad they don't have to meet parents anymore. Because why? Especially if daddy was sitting there, because daddy could spot a mile away if you were the wrong type of individual for his daughter. Now, sometimes daughter may not take daddy advice. Daddy, stay out of my business. Every boy I bring over here, you always say this. Sometimes that could happen. But, you know. All right, let me get back to the chat. Lady Ray says she's 22, has been talking to a 40-year-old that approached her at an event. She gave her an email. People, the email works. I mean, it works. I guess y'all must think that when men give you advice about men, we don't know what we're talking about. The phone number, that's too easy. You gave him what he wanted. That was his goal in the beginning. I'm going to walk up to her, get a stimulating conversation going, and get her phone number. And then I'm just going to throw her in with the rest of them and start to work my magic. That's too easy. No, stop going by that. All right. Let me get some more chats. Lady Ray said, letting a man extend the date used to be my downfall. I'd go along with it. Now I will end them at one activity, 2 hours or less. Like I said, who knows a man better than a man? You damn right we want to extend that date. Man, please, do we want to extend it? That's why you got to shut it down. That's why you got to know these things beforehand and have your process in place. Yeah, I got to do a show about that. Because you listen, see, men, we're going to present it like it's so innocent. If you agree to do lunch together with us, and let's say you off for the remaining parts of the day, it's a Saturday. If you agree to do lunch with us, again, we'll do the lunch date with you, but we don't want you to go home. We're going to say, okay, let's go see a movie next or do something next. Let's go to, there's a festival downtown. Let's go check it out. No, that's what we specialize in, extending the date. Why? Because we're just trying to sink those hooks deeper and deeper in you. All right, let me see. Yeah, but y'all think the old man, he just talking. Don't let him, he don't know what he talking about. Yes, I do. Trying to keep some of you people out the crazy house and out the jailhouse. The jailhouse, yeah, because you could snap and do something that you never thought you would do, that you break the law and wind up in jail. Plenty of that. Taj the Great One says, I thought they were just enjoying my company. I missed that one. Lady Ray says, listen to elderly, your middle-aged, and your middle-aged internet sisters turn away from that 40-year-old. Yeah. Taj the Great One says he just divorced. He is most likely not looking to get married. I'm trying to tell you from experience. Could go that way. Janai says men will also keep you out all night to see if you actually do it, to estimate how much spare time you really have. Act like you got ish to do, even if you don't, ladies. Good advice. Excellent advice. What time is it? 9:51, my time. I'm going to take one more chat. Danielle Livingston says, I would intentionally not tell her things because she can always pull a card, but in my mid-30s, I started to run things to her. Oh, y'all lost me on that one. Straight Talk said, I love your book. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Straight Talk. Thank you for supporting it. It's a cold book, people. She says, I love your book. There are women who use men for money, so what advice would you give men about spending on dates? Yeah, what advice would I give men about spending on dates? Spending on dates. That's a good question. But before I get to what advice I would have men about spending on dates, the first thing that I would tell a man, and I promise I'm going to get to that question. I'm going to answer that question. But the first thing that I think a lot of men, especially young men, need to understand is that just because a woman agreed to go out on a date with you does not mean that she is ready to be your girlfriend or you are entitled to certain things. You would be surprised how many men actually think that certain parts of a woman's body belongs to him or that woman belongs to him. Where a man may say, okay, that's my pee. That's my woman. In other words, your body, they think that they can control what you do with your body. A man may go out on a date with a woman on a Monday and find out that, okay, she went out on a date with another guy on a Wednesday, 2 days later. But you would be surprised how many men think just because they went out on a date with a woman that Monday, that she should just shut it down, should not be interested in any more men, because now I'm your man and your body belongs to me. You're my woman. So, it seems like there are so many men out there that actually think that a woman's body and a woman's decision should be dictated by them, and that woman belongs to them. Now, when it comes to for man spending on a date, going back to what I talked about earlier, I'm a firm believer, because as a woman, if I were a woman going out on a date, there are some women who may expect the man to pay for the date. All right, let me address that real quickly. If you're a woman and you expect the man to pay for the date, hey, that's up to you. If that's what you believe, that's up to you. Or you demand that a man pay for the date. See, there are some men out there that have a warped mentality that think that simply because they paid for the date, that now they are entitled to certain things, whether that be sex or time or your attention or whatnot. And so there are certain men that you could pay for the date and they think, oh, okay, well, you down with the program. I paid for the date, then, you need to settle up with me, even up the score, and have sex with me. Do all men think that way? Nope. But there are some. Now, how do you know which ones do think that way? How do you know which ones don't think that way? Guess what? You don't. There's some men out there with some warped mentalities. Whereas, let's say you go out with them the first time, he pays for the date. You go out with them a second time, he pays for the date. You go out with him a third time, he pays for the date. You go out with him a fourth time, he pays for the date. And then maybe somewhere down the road after that fourth date, let's say you find out that, that attraction that you thought you had for him is really not there. There's some things that he may have done that, really, you find out, well, even though we went out on 4 dates, we're really incompatible. And then you decide to say, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. See, there are some guys who say, wait a minute, you went out, I spent all this money on the first date, then I spent all this money on the second, third, and fourth dates. See, there's some guys who it will register in their mind. They may come to the conclusion, oh, you were just playing with me the whole time. Oh, you took me for a sucker. You took me for, you already knew that you weren't interested in me, but you were just in it for the free meals or whatnot. There are some men who think that way. So how do you avoid that? You go out on a date. You pick a place that you're interested to pick a place that you like, that's inexpensive. Woman pays for her meal, he pays for his. That's one solution that I advise. If you don't see it that way, hey, I respect that. But again, my thing is the date. What does the date have to do with how fancy of a restaurant he takes you to, or whatever the place may be? The date should be the purpose of the date should be you acquiring information from each other to see if there's some compatibility that you can build on for future dates. So to answer your question, what I would advise men, I would advise that, hey, once the lady decides on the place, let me take that back. I would advise the lady, you set you choose the place, wherever it is, you choose the time and the location, and choose a place that's reasonably inexpensive. You pay for yours, the lady pay for her meal, the guy pays for his. That's what I would advise. And I would advise the same thing to a young man. Let her decide where she wants to eat or where she wants to meet you at. Don't pressure her to try and pick her up. Why? Because she doesn't even know anything about you. She doesn't know anything about your background, just starting to know you or to get to know you. You pay for yours, she pays for his. That's me. Now, you may look at that and say, oh, Lord, that's way old-fashioned. Any man that takes me out, he's going to pay for that date. Hey, again, if that's how you feel, that's totally up to you. But there are some men who have bad understanding. And their thing is, if I pay for the meal, then you owe me something on the back end. And so to avoid all of that type of stuff, it's totally up to you how you play it. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. It's only 21 in the chat. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. I got to get this thing figured out, how to bring in multiple cameras. Thank you for bringing those things to my attention. So again, let me see. Straight Talk says, that was the same advice Matthew Hussey gives. Let each person pay their own way. Else the man expects sex, and why shouldn't he? Yeah, see. So whoever the man talks about, whoever Matthew Hussey is, I mean, I don't know him, never talked to him, but that's how, some men see it. Because you want to keep down confusion. Because in the initial stages, you don't know anything about him, and he doesn't know anything about you. So to keep all of that stuff down, that's what I would suggest. All right, so don't forget Monday, this Monday and next Thursday, I will not be on, have some things to take care of. Everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend. Thanks once again for the participation. Appreciate it. Let me see. What does that say? If a man has roommate in his 30s, God, no. A man has a roommate in his 30s. Is that a caution flag? That's a good question, because in today's world, that man that's in his 30s that has a roommate, I'm not saying he is. I'm not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's a man with a lot of money, or he's a man who aspires to have a lot of money. Because a lot of people have a mentality in today's world as far as, I'm going to go against the grain and I'm not trying to impress anybody. In other words, roommate, things are split down the middle. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have his stuff together and he's a mama's boy. You'd be surprised how many people have been looking at how some Asians families, some Mexican families, some Hispanic families have come with their blueprint of how a family accumulates wealth. And what they do is, a lot of times they'll just say, listen, we're going to stay together in this one little spot. Everybody, you work, the money that you make, save. And when you reach your goal as far as how much you want to save or whatnot, then you move out. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of those types. Now, it could be the flip side, whereas, maybe he's the type that baby boy, basically, doesn't want to be on his own, likes to hang with his boys. He's in a financial situation where, things are rough, can't afford anything. Could be. But how does he treat you? Because again, you would be surprised how many men out there, or how many people are adopting new strategies as far as acquiring wealth and savings because he may have a goal. Listen, I'm going to save $100,000 and I'm going to open up my own restaurant. Or I'm going to save $150,000 or whatnot. I'm going to open up my own restaurant. I'm going to open up my own whatever. Could be one of those types. Who am I to say? But before you cast judgment on him, could be somebody with a solid plan, and he's not worried about how the world is perceiving him, and he just could have a solid plan where he's just stacking his money, and he's like, okay, I catch the bus, the hell with y'all. My car is not a up-to-date car, the hell with y'all. I got a plan. I'm getting out of debt. I'm going to, have X amount of dollars in liquid assets. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to make sure my retirement is in place. Hard to say. All right. She said, I like to give grace because America is expensive. LOL. So I get it, but I need to know his plan. Yeah. So ask him his plan, because he could have a plan. All right. What time is it? 10:05. All right. So everybody have a good Memorial Day. Everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe. Some of you may be planning on coming to Essence Festival in a few more weeks. Make sure you're ready for this Louisiana heat. Speaking of Essence Festivals, that may be a good place for some of you to come down here and mingle. Meet some nice young men, nice young ladies that's going to be in New Orleans for that one particular weekend. Never know. You may come down here and meet Mr. Wright or Mrs. Wright. All right, yeah, so everybody's saying good night. Good night, everybody. Have a good weekend.